One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. A metal mayhem that will never die. With engines roaring, he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful Topless Taco Tuesday. Let's get it. All right, as you guys can see from the title here, Trump at G7 summit, as well as Iran deal questions and B-52 crash updates. So there was a lot that happened in the last 24 hours, and we have a lot to discuss, obviously. So let me go ahead and give you guys a chronological breakdown of what we're actually going to be discussing this morning. First, we're going to be talking about ICE agents fire shots after being struck by vehicle. This just happened yesterday, mind you. And then we also have President Trump participates in bilateral meeting with France's Macron. I always forget how to say his name. But anyways, at G7 summit, as you guys know, it's over there in France. And then we have Edwards AFB crash. This is regards to that B-52 crash after takeoff, which was terrible. I mean, it was a humongous scene, and you guys I have the scene for you guys actually, so you guys can see the gnarliness out of it, right? Then we have Newsom claims Trump directed DOJ to investigate him and his wife. I'm sure that probably is true. And then the breaking of the actual number of people that were believed to be dead after the B-52 bomber crash in California. It is believed it to be 8 people right now. That's what they're saying. And also, when the officials come out and speak, on the very next report, it says officials confirm 8 people killed in B-52 crash at California Air Force Base. And then we have Trump, world leaders discuss Iran war at G7 summit, as you guys know. And then President Trump meets with UAE president at G7. And then FBI, 5 arrested in plot to attack White House UFC event. Now, supposedly, there was these 5 guys. I have no idea what the deal is, but 5 were arrested. 5 people were arrested on this thing. They were going to one-way attack drone the UFC Freedom event over there, the 250 anniversary, right? They were going to do that. And so I guess they got arrested. So that's what we're looking at this morning. Real quick, before we get into the madness, let's quickly do our call to actions, and then we'll get right into the madness. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it. And it's free to do so, by the way. And you know what else is free? It's hitting that subscribe. Come on, man. It's free. And then, of course, we have, this is what we do Monday through Friday. And then we have members only on Saturday morning. Now, speaking of members, please consider becoming a member, starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, all that good shit. Politics. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. And we also have a Discord server for all of you legends where we continue the conversation because we're only live for about an hour and a half max. during our Monday through Friday, and also all of the shows, actually. So we continue the conversation over there. Make sure you guys go in the video description down below, and that's where you'll find the invite link. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen. You can donate to those at any time, and I get 100% of the proceeds. And, of course, we'll read out loud anything that comes our way, just like a normal super chat. Now, real quick, before we get into the madness this morning, I do want to give a special shout out to Motobomb Virginia, the Coffee Crew, Sick Bastard, Carney Vanguard, Old Mac, all you guys. Thank you for the raid this morning from all your channels. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate all the love and support. All right, real quick, let's go ahead and get into the madness here. Let me say hi to a few of you guys. We've got Motobomb, Carney Vanguard. Always appreciate you guys. Brother So Loud from the Boondocks in North Carolina. We got Vanguard Critters as well as Prez. Good morning to you guys, man. We got Steve Posey. Yes, sir. We got Rabbit of Chaos as well as Wildcard. Always appreciate you. Richard Smith, I see you in here as well. Good morning. We got Gary, my man, always. Mr. Always appreciate you. Easy Frank and TVT. Appreciate you guys. We got Texas Gidget. Good morning. Good morning. We got Chasing Ghost as well. Great to see you in the chat. We're running our way down as fast as humanly possible, I promise. We got Sterling Wheel, my man. Good morning. Good morning. All right, and Brother Steve Easy. Let's go ahead and get right into the madness here. We are going to be discussing ICE agents fire shots after being struck by vehicle, and this was yesterday.
And welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. The time.
Yo, Sterling Wheel dropping a gift of membership. My man, thank you very much, making it rain in the chat. Not only helping me, but someone else in the IWF. Very much appreciate that.
11:35 on the East Coast, 8:35 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I do want to head over to Stafford Township,
my man, Tommy.
New Jersey. You can see there on the right-hand side of your screen as we are following a developing story with the help of our Fox Philadelphia team. I want to zoom in.
Brother Bob up there in Canada.
And take a look at the scene there. As you can see, it's fairly active. This appears to be an ICE incident of some kind. Now, Stafford Township Police Department Communications Center reportedly getting a report of an incident that occurred on Route 72 near Mermaid Drive.
So this happened over there in Stafford Township, New Jersey. Interesting. Miss Lotus, by the way, good morning. Great to see you in the chat. Good morning. Good morning.
Again, over in Stafford Township, information provided that ICE was attempting to apprehend a suspect when that suspect ran away from the scene and drove off, striking an ICE agent. The agent then...
Damn. What's the condition of the agent?
Fired his firearm at the vehicle, reportedly striking it. The suspect drove off and has not been located at this time. So it's not clear if there was an injury or anything of that nature. All of this developing here at this hour. But the agent reportedly sustained unknown injuries, and it's unknown, as I mentioned, if that person who was shot at was injured. There's no reason to believe, according to the communications center, that there's any danger to the public at this point. Again, you can see folks are standing there in the street. It's not clear if there may be speaking with someone who witnessed something, a police officer, all of that under investigation.
So it doesn't sound like they actually struck and got the guy. I don't know if they ran after him or if they already did get him. I don't know.
Investigation, but Sky Fox with our Fox Philadelphia team is flying overhead. If there is a news conference that provides some more information, we will make sure to bring that to you here on Live Now from Fox in real time as we get it. But again, Stafford Township Police Department Communications Center.
Virginia Chaos, that's epic, man. He says New Jersey is shit. My girl is from Jersey. She's a shithead. It's fucking epic, bro.
We're getting a report of an incident. This is over on Route 72 near Mermaid Drive, where ICE was apparently attempting to apprehend a suspect. The suspect got into a vehicle, ran into a vehicle there, drove off, and reportedly hit the ICE agent who fired their weapon. We'll keep you updated once again.
And you know what's crazy is there was no update from this. As far as I can see, this was the only incident, and we don't have like governmental officials come out and speak and talk about it. None of that. So we have no update on that. So of course I'll keep my eye open if we get any developing stories that come out the next couple of days on that. We do our best to make sure we follow anything we present. All right, let's get into President Trump participates in bilateral meeting with France's Macron. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I always fucking forget how to say his name at G7 Summit, by the way. So let's go ahead and bring this up. As you guys know, this is over there in France. Let's go ahead and bring this up. 3, 2, 1, bam.
I wanted to say, to commend President Trump for the celebration yesterday and to welcome President Trump and his ministers
It's kind of oddly loud. Let me bring it down.
and his team for being here in Evian for the G7. I think yesterday was signed a very important agreement.
Brother Jack Talcott, my man, great to see you in the chat, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your Topless Taco Tuesday. I definitely know that so far we are.
A peace deal with Iran. And it's a very important one because first it will fix the nuclear issue. And it's a very important matter for peace for the whole world. And it will reopen Hormuz. It will provide peace in Lebanon. And so we are ready to take our fair share of the burden and be part of the commitment of the international community in order to support this deal. And we will discuss about that together and with colleagues later on. But it's a very important step towards peace, but as well for global economy. We will have the occasion to discuss about the war in Ukraine in order to rank.
You know, I actually don't know the complete answer to that. And usually when they get voted out, they still complete the rest of their term. You know what I mean? Same thing happens here.
Engage together and negotiate a good
Word.
peace.
Good morning,
sustainable
Pastor.
peace, and President Zelensky will be with us as well tomorrow. And obviously, we will have the occasion to bring this G7 to speak about a series of issues from rare earths, critical minerals, trade, etc., where we have to build convergence among the G7 members.
It's actually kind of hard to like listen to this guy. I'm not gonna lie.
And it will be the occasion for us to celebrate the 250th years of independence for the US and best.
Yep. And it's funny because the French, they're very much like us in that way. We conquered our way to the top, just like France tried to do.
It's a good place because this is where the King and the Minister of Foreign Affairs at the time did support the US
Oh no, I didn't see that, Tommy.
during years, but as well prepared what we call the Paris Treaty in 1783, which was the final point of this war. So it's a great honor and a great pleasure to have you, Mr. President, in Evian and Paris.
Thank you. So, Emmanuel has been a special friend of mine. We've had a fantastic relationship. We've worked on many deals together. I'm very happy to say very.
Can you guys fix the fucking audio, please? You guys have unlimited funding. You guys can't like afford a decent microphone and someone holding it or something, or just put it on, you guys. I don't understand.
When it's signed, the deal's all signed, and the strait is already partially opened. As you know, they're doing a little.
What? It's not partially open. I don't think that anything's gone through. All I do know is we're doing mine sweep operations over there right now. So I'm not really sure what he's talking about there.
Hunting for a couple of mines that they've already found. But
I'll pull up
it's
the live
essentially
traffic,
Ships are starting
too.
to go out now. On Friday, it'll be completely open. We got along very well with Iran. It's a different set of leaders. As you know, the first
there
set
is a
is
little
gone,
bit
the
of
second
movement.
set is gone, and we found
There is a little bit of movement. Here, let me show you guys what we're looking at. It doesn't look like there's movement in and out of the strait. It looks like everything is still, a lot of it is locked up still, obviously. But there is some traffic going in and out of Bandar Abbas, which is the mainland right there, right next to, or right, just north of the Qassam island. Qassam. Anyways, yeah, so there is a little bit of traffic. It looks like they're going in and out from here or something like that, doing some operations. Maybe that's some sweeping. I don't know. But really, there isn't shit going through the actual shipping lane. There's nothing going through the shipping lane right now. So, anyways, I just thought that was interesting that he said that. Let me bring it back to Trump. 3, 2, 1, bam.
the third set to be very smart, strong, very smart, but we ended up making a deal. I felt badly that we had to go back on the attack for 2 nights, and I thought a third, but we made it before that happened. But I think a lot of great things are going to happen in the Middle East right now, and very importantly, the oil is plummeting down, and the stock market is shooting up like a rocket today, like record kind of numbers. And the oil has taken its biggest plunge, and we're into the low numbers, not quite back yet, Kevin, to the extent, but we're getting close to the numbers we were before it all started. And the main thing is that Iran will not have a nuclear
I had to speed him up a little bit. He's a little slow when he was speaking here.
weapon. They fully agreed to that with strong policing powers.
Seymour Cannabis, my man, good morning.
They won't have a nuclear weapon, which is what it was all about, because they probably would have used.
Well, good luck in 60 days negotiating that. And then we're going to be right back to square one.
If they had it. So we had two big moments when they terminated the JCPOA, that was the Obama deal, the Barack Hussein Obama deal. And when I terminated that, it was very important because it was a road to a nuclear weapon. It was a horrible deal for the United States. It was a deal where billions of dollars was given to Iran. It was a deal where 1.7 billion in cash was put on a Boeing 757, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, I've already discussed that all yesterday, by the way. I already broke all that news. I already told the realistic aspect of what we're looking at. We're not looking at a peace deal. This is a memorandum of understanding. And yes, there are lots of concessions in it if everything goes to plan. The only way that the IRGC is going to give up their nuclear anything is if we pay them. That's literally what it's going to come down to.
But it was put on a big, beautiful Boeing 757. They needed a Boeing 747, to be honest with you, because it was a lot of cash. 1.7 billion was taken out of the banks and given to Iran. And on top of that, 10.
No, I go by action, Steve Posey. I don't go by party lines. I don't go by any of that shit. I just say it like it fucking is. He's done very well in other aspects. I give him accolades all the time with his shit. But when it comes down to this in the Middle East, this is where he's fucked up.
Billions of dollars was paid. So they tried to bribe them to make a deal. That didn't work. It never works. And we've done a great job. And hopefully it's going to be a good relationship and we're going to get along. And if we don't, we go back to where we started, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. The Iran deal that we made is going to bring a lot of success to the world because the oil was really plugged up there for a while. He would call me on occasion and say, come on, please, let's go with the oil prices. But the oil is coming way down. So I'm very honored by it. I want to thank you for your help. You've always been a help. And it's an honor to be with you. We had a very good conversation yesterday with President Zelensky and President Putin. And I see maybe we can do something there. I really do. I think they're both open to it. So, now that this is finished, we're going to be focusing on that, see if we can get that one done. 25,000 people a month are dying, mostly soldiers, and that shouldn't happen. But I do very good.
What's up, Logical Spark? Good morning. Happily topless Taco Tuesday. Yes, topless Taco
Conversations yesterday. We'll be talking about
Morning.
And we had a really exciting, I think maybe one of the most incredible evenings in the history of the White House. We had an evening last night with the fighters, and I was very happy. I called last night, very late last night, to congratulate you.
Yeah, what's up, Pablo? Good morning.
Because in the heavyweight division, a French fighter won. I don't know, is that maybe more important than the World Cup? To some people, it might be. To some people, it might be. You have a good team in the World Cup, very good team, but you have good fighters too. And you're a great country, and it's an honor to be with you. Thank you very much.
French suck, man. That's where I'm going to leave it. All right, we got to move on. We got too much shit to go through. We can't listen to him just ramble on and give accolades where accolades are not due. Anyways, let's go ahead and Edwards AFB crash. B-52 crashes after takeoff, and we have the back-to-back stories on this. Actually, we have another thing that's in between it, but I'll move it around so that we can actually do the B-52 bomber situation all in one. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Sorry. As I'm choking.
Keeping an eye
There we
on
go.
a breaking news.
Oh, wait. Nope. This is the wrong one. Wrong one. That would be out of order. We can't do that. We can't have out of order here. You know what I mean? Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. We have well over 200 people in here. Make sure you guys double tap that screen. If you guys are on the vertical side, I very much appreciate it. You guys don't have to like all this craziness that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here on Insane Wheels. All right, here we go. Now we've got the right one.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. I'm Ryan Schmelz. We have some breaking news to get here.
an explosion has been reported at Edwards Air Force Base in California. We have some live looks of the explosion right now, the aftermath
Look
of
at this
this, which
shit.
is a significant amount of debris, a significant crash site here with smoke coming out. It looks like somebody's wiping down the shot right now. And earlier we could see fire trucks in the shot, and they just dwarfed the site there, where all the black debris is, as well as the smoke. We do have some information here from Edwards Air Force Base.
What's up, Blake's Pipes? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Good morning.
Which put out a statement on its X account saying this: a United States Air Force B-52 Stratofortress crashed shortly after takeoff on the Edwards airfield at 11:20 a.m. Emergency crews immediately responded to the scene, and the situation is ongoing. More information.
What's up, Papa D? By the way, this was happening yesterday for everyone.
Will be provided as it becomes available. And you see the massive presence that is there right now on the scene, which makes a lot of sense. Not a shocker, but you just see how small some of these.
I didn't hear about a fighter jet that recently went down in the last 24 hours, but I did see the B-52 bomber go down, and that's this.
That's a fire truck there in the far left corner that you see right there. And then you also have some pickup trucks and some other crews that are on scene as well. But we do have some information here on the B-52 Stratofortress. So according to the Air Force website, the B-52H Stratofortress is a long-range heavy bomber that can perform a variety of missions. The bomber is capable of flying at high
Well, those B-52 bombers are actually epic. They are awesome pieces of equipment, and we've used them forever.
Sonic speeds of altitudes up to 50,000 feet. It can carry nuclear or precision-guided conventional ordnance with worldwide precision navigation capability. Features: in a conventional conflict, the B-52 can perform strategic attack, close air support, air and interdiction, offensive counter-air, and maritime operation. During Desert Storm, the B-52 delivered 40% of all the weapons dropped by coalition forces.
And that's zoomed in from so far away, by the way.
It is highly effective when used for ocean surveillance and can assist the U.S. Navy in anti-ship,
literally like nothing left,
and mine-laying operations. In 2 hours, 2 B-52s can monitor 140,000 square miles of ocean surface. All B-52s can be equipped with 2 electro-optical viewing sensors, a forward-looking infrared, and advanced targeting pods to augment targeting, battle assessments, and flight safety, further improving its combat ability. Now, this is probably important here too. Pilots wear night vision goggles. Or
the reason why they haven't directly said how many people have died from this is because this was breaking as it was happening. So they didn't know. But we do have that update for you guys, which I'm going to play for you guys right after this, about the number of people. And it was unfortunately 8 people that died during this.
NVGs to enhance their vision during night operations. Night vision goggles provide greater safety during night operations by increasing a pilot's ability to visually clear terrain, increasing a peacetime and combat situational awareness of the aircrew, and improving their ability to visually acquire other aircraft. So,
very sad situation. So let's go ahead and bring you up the next story here where they have more updates here. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Here we go.
Story that we've been covering for the last couple of hours, waiting for updates. This was the scene moments after a B-52 crashed at Edwards Air Force Base. This was the images.
Brother TVT, I always appreciate you, man.
Of Skyfox at the time, and as you can see there, just pure destruction at the airfield. It has since been shut down. This investigation is still ongoing, but we did just moments ago get a news release from Edwards Air Force Base talking about this incident, saying that the B-52 crashed at the Air Force Base, and saying that an Air Force B-52 carrying 8 people on a routine test mission crashed today shortly after takeoff at
Right. It was very shortly after takeoff. It was like right as they took off and then boom, nosedive.
11:20 Pacific time. Initial indicators are that the crash was not survivable. Emergency response personnel are on the scene and officials are working to account for all.
And when they do that on takeoff, I mean, you at least in something goes wrong up in the sky, you have time to react before you hit the ground. But if you just took off, there's no like time to do anything. And that's what's super, super unfortunate about this.
Personnel. The crash is under investigation. And just to reiterate there, that 8 people were on board. And they are now saying that this crash did not look to be survivable at all. And hearts go out with everyone that has been involved, including families and friends that are no doubt getting those calls right now, and knocks on the door, which has to be so very hard. So we are thinking about them during this very, very difficult
God
time.
bless.
If we get more updates, we will pass that along to you. But again, 8 people aboard that B-52 bomber. Air Force saying that the crash does not look survivable.
No, of course not. What are you talking about? There was nothing left. Yes, by the way, there's well over 300 people in here between both live streams. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen. Listen, you don't have to like it for all the craziness that's happening around the world. You guys can like it for me and what we're doing here. All right, so let's quickly embrace our fuck ups, because I did do some out of order shit originally and I fixed it, but still fuck
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Always embrace thy process. All right, we're embraced. And appreciate that, Steve Easy. Yes, a buck or 50. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and just get the money part over with, because we haven't done it.
Just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Now that is the best propaganda you're going to get all day.
Denied.
But I still love you guys. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and bring this up. We're going to be discussing now Newsom claims Trump directed DOJ to investigate him and his wife. I'm sure that's true, but I actually don't know why it happened. Let's see what the claims are here.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. I'm Ryan Schmelz. We have some breaking news to get to. California Governor Gavin.
Question for this guy.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
I say it every single time he reports.
Newsom claims President Trump's Department of Justice is investigating him and his wife. We'll show you this tweet here from Governor Newsom just now. Today, my wife and I joined Donald Trump's hit list. He has directed his Department of Justice to investigate us. They have not found a crime. They are simply trying to find one. He isn't coming after me because of mean tweets, but because I am considering running for president. He hates that I consistently call him out. He is simply the most corrupt president in American history. We have nothing to hide, Mr. President. Come after me. I am not going anywhere. The country.
Of course, he's not going to claim why he's being investigated. Tell us why you're being investigated. Be transparent with the people, you know? I'd like to know. We got Big Dan, by the way, saying howdy, folks. Good morning to you. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
Is watching. Now, Governor Newsom just posted a video on his Twitter account. So let's go ahead and take that and play that for you so we can find some more details here from the governor.
Oh, he definitely got a little, rainbow in him for sure.
Why are you gay?
For sure.
In recent days, federal agents have knocked on the doors of family, friends, and former employees. Not because they found a crime, because they're simply trying to...
I like that whataboutism, City. I call Trump out on his bullshit all the fucking time. I love how you got to do a whataboutism. We're not talking about Trump right this second. We're talking about Newsom, okay? That's... Why are you guys so fucking dense sometimes in the chat?
They're demanding records. They're abusing the grand jury process, digging through years and years of random documents. Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president, because he hates that I've consistently called him out over and over again for his lies and deceit. Donald Trump is simply the most corrupt president in American history. He's turned the levers of government into his own personal power ministries to reward cronies and to try to jail his opponents. His personal attorney now runs the Department of Justice, which has repeatedly gone after his political enemies. Ask Jerome Powell. Sent them after James Comey, Trish James, Adam Schiff. He sent.
It almost sounds AI driven, even though I do have it 1.25, and that may be why. But it kind of did sound like a glitch that he had there.
Them after Tim Walz and a woman that a jury found Donald Trump had sexually abused. One by one, anyone who has challenged Donald Trump has ended up on his hit list. And today, I proudly join that list. After calling for my arrest last year, Donald Trump directed his Department of Justice to investigate me. And just in the last week, I've learned that his campaign has reached my own home. To get me, he's coming after my wife, Jen, a public servant, a woman who's dedicated her life to supporting women and girls, someone who has done nothing wrong other than having the temerity to advocate for what she believes in.
You got to love the cope on this guy. And from all sides of everything, right? When shit goes down, you got to love the cope.
If they can't intimidate me, they'll go after the mother of our children. Donald Trump picked the wrong target. We have nothing to hide. His political operatives can take every record and read every page, but they'll be looking in the wrong place. Because if they really want to find corruption, look no further than 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Donald Trump is selling the presidency. He's running the largest cash heist in American political history, trading foreign tariff relief for approval of his golf courses, day trading behind the Resolute desk, reaping hundreds.
Yeah, Papa D is so big that they couldn't get the camera all the way, his whole head in the camera view.
Of millions of dollars in personal profit. And he's doing it openly. He's doing it on camera. He did it last night on the White House lawn. He's doing it through cryptocurrencies. He's doing it through the receipt of a $400 million private jet from a foreign government that he plans to keep when he leaves office. Through his son's ventures in countries where his own administration is simultaneously making policy. His personal fortune has skyrocketed by $4 billion since making his return to office. This is the behavior of a regime, not a republic. The White House has become a marketplace for sneakers and coins and watches, cologne, guitars, Bibles, and phones. Influence for sale, access for sale. And today, my family and I can personally confirm that justice is for sale. To Donald Trump, who I know is watching because he watches.
What are you talking about? Justice has always been for sale. That's nothing new. Justice has always been for sale since day one, since conception.
Everything. I have a message for you. You can subpoena my records. You can investigate me. You can harass me. Put my name on every and any enemies list you have, but leave my wife and family out of your personal vendetta. I'd like to say something to my wife. These times are not normal. They're not ordinary. I love you, and I'm sorry he's doing this. You have not earned a single one of the indignities that he's trying to inflict on you and our children. And to Donald Trump, this country does not belong to you. It does not belong to your cronies. And we're going to fight your lawlessness. And we're going to continue to remind the people of this country of your corruption. That same corruption our founders warned us against as we move to celebrate our 250th anniversary.
It's very rich that he would be bringing up founders and shit, like as if this motherfucker does anything that the founders have ever done.
I'm going to keep reminding Americans of what they warned would happen if a man with no character ever held the office of presidency. So let me say it again. Mr. President, come after me. I'm not going anywhere. And the country
he is coming after
watching.
you. He's absolutely coming after you. Be careful what you wish for, man. All right, here we go. Officials confirm that the 8 people killed in the B-52 crash at California Air Force Base. This is a whole different report. Just saw it, so we're going to bring this up. And it is the latest update on this.
Breaking news, at least 8 U.S. military.
Which we already know that part, but I want to see if we can skip it. It does look like we're going to see some more stuff here. So let me go and just skip ahead to the stuff we haven't seen here.
Of the 8 people who were on board that flight.
Okay, wait. There's like a report going on. here, so let's hear it.
Oh, this right here, San Western, an unsurvivable update more that crash shortly after takeoff this morning. Higher ups at the base, though earlier
yesterday morning, for context, by the way,
giving a big update not long ago, calling this now a recovery mission and a tragic and unsurvivable crash. Take a look here. Edwards Air Force Base is located, by the way, in the western Mojave Desert. It's located about 100 miles northeast of downtown Los Angeles. The heavy bomber went down on the main airfield and runway. Oh, this right here looking at is Skyfox video from earlier over that tragic crash site. The base had said the bomber was carrying 8 people on a routine test mission when it went down on the Edwards airfield around 11:20 in the morning.
By the way, Max, if this is true, you're definitely not a Republican and we don't want you in the party.
This, we're told, was a mixed crew of military, government civilians, and even government contractors supporting this test mission. We also learned, Christine, the base, they do these test missions every day, multiple times a day. At this point, they said there was no indication yet of the cause of the crash. Right now, they said they're notifying the next of kin of the 8 people who were on board that flight.
We wish absolute condolences for the family members, and again, thank our first responders who responded very bravely. Again, this is a tragedy. It's something that we never planned for, but we're always prepared for it to respond, and we thank those involved as we work through this process.
Now, this right here is camera angle from Alert California, a public safety program that monitors wildfires and disasters in real time. This, though, captured a time-lapse video showing the Edwards Air Force Base crash aftermath, particularly right there. You can see the smoke plumes following that tragic crash. The base also saying that tomorrow they are terminating operations as the crash continues to be investigated. We also learned in terms of a timeline of
what's up, brother GEG. Good morning to you, by the way.
When we'll know the cause, they said the base right now is setting up an interim safety board to gather more information, but the whole process could take up to 8 months to figure out the exact cause. Christine?
All right, Fox 11 in Los Angeles with that coverage of those brush fires and also that traffic.
No, you are so wrong. I grew up in Southern California for 29 years. I know everything about Gavin Newsom. If you actually did your research, there's no way that you're from California, because you would know, and you would be struggling. You'd be struggling. So listen, unless you've been around where his policies affected you personally and you actually followed that shit and figured out why you're being fucked, yeah, he's one of the main guys
there at the Edwards Air Force Base. Some more video of that scene after a military.
Yeah, now I live in northern Alabama now, and I'm involved in the actual party here. So just saying, you know what I mean?
Plane.
You definitely sound like a rhino, though.
It crashed, 8 crew members dead after a B-52 bomber crashed shortly after takeoff from Edwards Air Force Base today. Those victims included Air Force personnel and government contractors who were on a training mission. Let's play out that full update from officials there, the latest on this crash.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you all for coming. Today, Edwards Air Force Base experienced a horrible tragedy, and we lost 8 great Americans. This crash is deemed to be unsurvivable, and right now, our thoughts and prayers are with the families of those that lost their loved ones. We're sending teams out to notify the next.
What's up, Chatting with Stacks? By the way, good morning to you, kind sir. Great to see you in the chat.
Kin right now as we speak, and those next of kin notifications will take place over the coming hours and remainder of the day. It was a B-52 that was on initial takeoff, supporting the radar modernization program, which is it was a local test sortie. It took off, and immediately after takeoff.
Oh yeah, you're definitely Gulf Shores. Oh yeah, that's totally Rhinoville and Liberalville, man. But hey, I do got a lot of love for Gulf Shores. It's beautiful down there.
Crashed and burst into flames. Our team of first responders snapped into action and immediately cordoned off the area and took the appropriate action to start putting out the flames. While that was taking place, our base responded in kind to establish an emergency operations center and a wing operations center to ensure that the command and control of all base agencies and the response for the recovery effort was underway. After reviewing the footage of the crash, it was deemed that this was an unrecoverable crash.
Exactly like what I was talking to you guys about when we first were talking about this. When you're up in the sky. You have time to react. That's why there's always like a certain checklist that these, when you go down in Mayday or whatever the case is, there's actual procedures for all of this. But when you just, take off, as you're taking off and you're not up in the air yet, you have no altitude, and then you go straight nosedive down. I mean, you have no actual response time, and it's tragic. You can't even have people jump out with parachute. You can't do anything. You're fucked.
And unsurvivable. At that point, we went into the notification process.
Wow, brother So Loud coming in with the 10 spot, by the way. Very much appreciate that. Says, sounds like this guy needs a bite of that damn sandwich. Yes, he's a nice enough guy. He's a nice enough guy. I can tell he's cool. He's cool. But we'll give him the sandwich.
Man, motherfuckers talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
W, by the way, always appreciate you, brother So Loud, for the 10 spot, making it rain in the chat. Absolutely. All right, back to this.
And as I said before, that's taking place right now. I want to reiterate that our thoughts and prayers go out to the family members. This is a tragedy, and this is going to be the worst days of their lives. We understand that, and we want to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. At this point,
oh, damn, Max. That's fucking terrible. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. That's terrible, bro.
We don't have any indication as to what the cause was of this. We won't be able to release that information, and we don't have an ability to get that anytime soon. Right now, we're going to stand up an interim safety board to do the initial gathering of the facts, and that will then lead to a safety investigation board, which will look into those root causes. Once that's complete, it takes about 30 days. Then it'll go into an accident investigation board, and then that will determine all of the information that we can release to the public and to the next of kin. That process can take upwards of 6 months. So we have to wait patiently while that process undergoes to ensure that we respect the process of doing full root cause analysis. This time I want to introduce my command chief, Chief Josh Scarlocken, to provide any words if you would like to.
Again, we wish absolute condolences for the family members, and again, thank our first responders who responded very bravely. Again, this is a tragedy. It's something that we never planned for, but we're always
okay. It doesn't sound like we're going to get any more information out of this. I mean, it is a full-blown tragedy, but it's not like they have any more information to give us, unfortunately. All right, we got to move on. Fuck, we're 42 minutes into the live stream and I haven't even sparked up yet. What am I doing? I'm fucking up over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just go ahead and embrace it.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
We've embraced the process. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and bring up this next story here. Trump, world leaders discuss Iran war at G7 summit. This is happening today. This is only 3 hours ago. So everything that we're reporting on now is current, from today. So here we go.
We are now just past the top of the hour, 8:03 on the East Coast and 5:03 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and a big thank you to my colleague, Karel Lahara, who has been here with you for the past several hours to break down all of your top stories and live events from across the country and the world, and I'm here to do the same. There on the right-hand side of your screen, you're taking a live look over in France at the G7 summit. Now, of course, we have been bringing you all of the latest developments from that area here, and of course, it is day 2 of President Trump's trip there, where he's meeting with world leaders, including the French president and the prime ministers of the UK and Canada, a lot of other leaders there as well. Now, a big topic of conversation during the meetings has been that tentative deal between the U.S. and Iran to end the war, with U.S. officials saying the deal has been signed electronically by both countries, and there will be an in-person signing ceremony later on in the week. Again, a live look right here coming in out of France as we have this exterior shot. We've been getting live images of President Trump meeting with those world leaders, so as those pop up, we're going to make sure to bring those to you here on Live Now from Fox. In the meantime, do you want to talk much more about the situation there in the Middle East? Let's bring in Javed Ali over at the University of Michigan to break it all down. Javed, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Yes, correct, Mr. Mister. I went all throughout yesterday when we were reporting everything that was going on with the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding. I couldn't find shit on it. I went through AI. I went through, all types of Google. I researched and researched trying to find the actual Memorandum of Understanding. And unfortunately, because it hasn't been signed yet, we're not going to see it. The signing happens obviously Friday, as everybody knows, and then that's when the strait is supposed to supposedly be open. By then, they've already done their mine sweeping operations, sonared the whole bottom. So yeah, it's going to be interesting because that was the very first thing I was looking for was the actual document. But unfortunately wasn't able to find it. Real quick, my man, Mr. Mister, speaking of, I was just speaking to, he sends in $50 fucking on the Cash App. Bro, let's fucking go. Come on, man. He said, Michelle Obama is a man. Yo, my man. Appreciate you with the 50 spot on the Cash App. That definitely goes a long way, my man. So I very much appreciate that.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
All right, here we go. That was a whale.
Discuss all of those developments.
Josh, nice to be with you, and a lot going on.
Yeah, so much going on. And first off, I want to ask you kind of your.
So he hasn't given it yet, by the way, the time change, and it's not 300 billion straight from us. Okay, it would unlock a lot of funds that are over there in the Middle East, and some of that money is ours, of course, but it would unlock $300 billion worth of funds, and then plus there's like another 24 billion that you're not even talking about here that is related to us. So yeah, that's what's being discussed right now.
I'll stand on where things stand when you look
What's up,
at this
Joker?
deal being signed electronically, and then you look at the situation kind of playing out where we could have a signing ceremony later on in the week. How does that kind of differ, and what can we expect from that?
So, Josh, as you and I have been talking these past few months about the war with Iran, we've had these moments where there seemed to have been the possibility of a ceasefire or some more enduring end to the conflict. And despite all those ups and downs or back and forth, here we are now on June 16th, and it definitely seems like there will be this 60-day.
What's up, brother Gary? By the way, good morning to you. If I haven't said it already, good morning.
Ceasefire, and that should be or could be the springboard for something else. But it took a lot of things to happen to get to this point. So the one issue that seems to be negotiated at some level is the status of the Strait of Hormuz and it being toll free.
Hey, the time change. I'm with you. I'm with you on that shit. You know what I mean? Fuck every side.
Free, although the Iranians are saying they're still going to be able to charge some type of fee or payment for transit through that. But still, that seems like an issue that, for the most part, both sides have agreed to. And now the second big issue is the status of Iran's.
Good morning, by the way. We got Green Owl Trading. Great to see you in the chat.
Nuclear program. The Truth Social post you just showed said President Trump believes that Iran has agreed to never have a nuclear weapon. That is very definitive. Whether that is the Iranian position, again, unclear, and that doesn't appear to be resolved yet, as far as we know, at least through this 60-day plan, or perhaps whatever they're working on is.
Okay, so this is what Trump is saying regarding that 300 billion right there. Quote, Iran has agreed to never have a nuclear weapon, exclamation point. Also, the story that the U.S. is paying Iran $300 million, 300 billion, it's not 300 million, $300 billion is fake news put out by the Democrats, President Donald Trump. Again, I just clarified that it's not necessarily 300 billion straight from, us, but, there is some of that monies is from us. And then there's another 24 billion that's not even being discussed here. And that's actually more like what we're going to be paying if we go through with this shit.
Sort of phase two.
And as you talk about that, again, we have that post here from President Trump where he says Iran has agreed to never have a nuclear weapon. Like you said, that is definitive there. But we've also heard from Iran that that's not going to happen. So is that essentially just setting the stage once again for this deal to fall apart?
Well, we've seen.
Well, not only on Friday, but if it does get signed, that's still not the truth. We won't know until the very end of the 60 days. That's when we'll know the actual truth of where we're going. And if we're paying, all the contract deals, we'll know by the 60 days. We'll know a lot on Friday for damn sure. And we're going to be obviously covering that here. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, by the way. Very much appreciate it. If you guys are on the vertical side, double tap that screen. But yes, Friday will reveal a lot, but it won't reveal the entire story until 60 days later. Anyways.
Over the past few months too, time and time again, both the U.S. and Iran sort of dig in and put these maximalist positions out from the other side. So if President Trump is saying Iran will never have a nuclear weapon and the Iranians are saying we didn't agree to that, there's clearly room in between those two extremes to negotiate still further on something. It might be that Iran may not be able to continue its uranium enrichment program, or that its ability to have.
No, Texas Gidget. Basically, it's not the frozen funds that they're specifically talking about on that. I'll double check my research on it. I'll have to like go through all the shit again. But I know one part of that is part of the Iranian frozen funds. But there's also compensation for like rebuilding. I think that's what the 300 billion was, and then there's like a 24 billion compensation there as well for their loss of revenue or some bullshit. So anyways,
a nuclear program will be overseen by international monitors, which it was before with the International Atomic Energy Commission. But this whole point of will Iran ever have a nuclear weapon, that I don't think that's going to scuttle the deal, but I do think there's going to be a lot of discussion on that going forward.
And you and I have discussed this a lot, I would say almost on a weekly basis. But as far as the leadership in Iran, again, we have not seen Mojtaba Khamenei, who is the Iran supreme leader, the son, of course, of the previous leader who was killed in the start of Operation Epic Fury. We have not seen him. Do we have any idea at this point who is actually in charge there, leading all of this in Iran?
Well, by all accounts, Mojtaba Khamenei is the supreme leader, but I think there are a couple of reasons as to why the Iranians have not shown him to the world and even the Iranian public. One, perhaps he still might be recovering from the injuries he suffered on February 28th in those opening hours of the military campaign by the U.S. and Israel. And those injuries must have been extensive. The other issue might be that the Iranians are so worried about his personal safety that they won't even show him broadcasting from a deeply.
We're talking about our fellow amputated friend over there. I'm if you guys are new here, by the way, I'm an amputee as well. But the new Ayatollah, the Ayatollah's son, who succeeded into this position, we haven't seen from him. We haven't heard from him. The only thing that we have heard from him on was him passing literal notes to his people to give a statement. But we haven't seen him yet, so we don't know the condition.
Some kind of location or facility deeply buried underground, because if your viewers remember, on February 28th, his father, Ali Khamenei, was above ground in his residential complex, or one of those locations where he normally would reside. So I think it's a combination of those two things, but by all accounts, he's still the supreme leader. How active is he on a day-to-day basis? Very difficult to know. But we've also talked about this. There is a whole new level of senior leaders in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and they are the ones who are calling the shots from a national security perspective. They probably do have to get some decisions approved by Mojtaba, and that I would have to think includes this 60-day ceasefire deal. But you have different people in leadership positions now, and they are going to remain in power for as far as we know. There's nothing in the ceasefire agreement that is premised on the fact that the Iranian leadership has to depart or has to be removed. And so that's something that a lot of countries in the region are probably biting their tongue on, because you're still going to have a hardline clerical regime in power, even once the ceasefire deal is formalized and other aspects of the deal that go forward.
And I want to go back to that post once again.
Well, and that's the whole thing. I really don't react to anything that's being said. That's what I've learned, at least, to do over the course of years of doing this, is you can't react to what is being said by officials, no matter on either side, whether it be our side, their side, doesn't matter. You have to see what's happening on the ground. And that's why I keep a close eye on what's actually happening on the ground. That's why you guys see me always bringing up, for instance, the marine traffic, so you guys can see in real time, this second, what is happening. I love when people sit here and claim, oh, it's fucking wide open. And then it's like, no, bitch, it's fucking closed. And you can show in real time what's happening. A proper shipping lane looks like this. This is what it looks like over by Yemen, right? This is where the Houthi rebels run this strait, actually. Well, they could run this strait. Theoretically, all straits are actual international waterways, so they're not owned by anybody. But just on a geographical scale, they could threaten this area as well. And this is what a shipping lane traffic looks like here. And we're not seeing any of that up here, right? We're not seeing that through the strait. And it's you would see two lines going in beads right here, and none of that is happening. Everything else is still at standstill. But anyways, that's why I keep an eye on the ground on not just ship movements, but everything, military assets, where our shit is currently. I'm always trying to look up where our military assets are. Have they changed positions? Are we gaining more military assets? Whatever. I definitely look into all these things, of course. All right, so enough of this guy rambling on. We're going to move on into President Trump meets with UAE president at G7 summit as well. So let's go ahead and bring that up. Here we go.
And I do want to head out live right now back over to France. As we promised you, President Trump holding several events, and there he is again. Let's lift up the audio and listen in.
And he shows who's the real ally. And without your support, your commitment, Mr. President,
can barely understand that motherfucker.
Not my country only, but the Middle East will be in a different part of the world, different situation today. So really my pleasure to see you today, Mr. President, and thank you for giving us the time. And there is a lot of...
It's like he's speaking under his breath on purpose or something, like he's not wanting to be heard.
We can talk about for going forward between our two countries, how we can make our relationship.
There's Marco right there.
Better. We love it. Thank you, my friend.
Of course, Wildcard. Appreciate you.
See, when you're that rich, you can speak that lowly.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, he's right. Trump is actually 100% right on there. and Trump out here as a billionaire, he's like, well, let me scream to the world what just happened.
Better.
We love it. Thank you, my friend. See, when you're that rich, you can speak that lowly. I was just wondering, can anybody hear that? But when you're so rich, you have such confidence.
Yes.
And you don't have to do any strain to the voice.
That's right.
He's great. So do you have any questions?
What should we expect from the second stage of the negotiations?
Now, that's the type of shit that everyone fell in love with Trump with, that kind of stuff, like he has the balls to say shit that most politicians were totally unwilling to say at the time.
I don't know. It's a 60-day period or so. I think it's going to happen fairly on time. We've been both involved. I think they're going to want to get it done. Iran wants to get it done. They have to get back to business. And the relationship is now normalized. So I think it's going to go pretty quickly, Steve.
Yeah, Green, you have to go to all comments. You have to go to the 3 dots on the top or whatever, and you have to hit all chat instead of, top chat. You got to go to all chat.
Could go faster. Could take longer too, but it could go faster.
There's so much interest in the text of the document. Why not release the top?
Oh, I will.
Why not release it?
Well, because I'd like to get a formal setting first before we do that. But I have no problem with that.
That too.
Here's what it says. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. That's what it says. It won't have one to buy, to develop. They will not have a nuclear weapon. And I would say that's about 99.9% of what I wanted, because we couldn't let that happen. You couldn't let that happen. And they won't have a nuclear weapon. Now, in addition to that, the Strait is going to be open toll-free. And it's toll-free beyond the 60 days. It's not, somebody said, oh, it's toll-free for 6. No. It's toll-free, period. When it opens permanently, it'll be toll-free.
And we were discussing that aspect on a military front as well. That's a huge possibility.
I want to congratulate our Navy because the naval blockade was unbelievable. But I will...
Brother Agrillipus, great to see you in the chat, my man. Good morning to you. Great to see you.
Actually, I'll not only release it, I'll probably have a press conference and read it to you word by word, so that the press covers it accurately, because it's a very important document. And unlike Obama, who could have destroyed the Middle East with a horrible JCPOA, it is the worst agreement. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. Mine is a wall against a nuclear weapon. I mean, I see these people say, but we already had one. It was the worst. He paid a fortune for it. We paid nothing. We don't pay. There was some statement, we're going to spend $300 billion. No, we're not. We're allowed to go and invest if we wanted to someday in the future. We have no obligation whatsoever. It could be that Iran will turn out to be successful when they have oil. But if we left a week ago, just left, before the last 2 attacks, it would have taken them 20 years to rebuild Iran. So, but I'll go over the document with the media in a couple of days.
Mr. President, what's up, Rick Young? Good morning.
You'd like to see other nations join the Abraham Accords, much like the UAE has. Have there been any discussions with Arab leaders about that?
About what?
Joining the Abraham Accords like the UAE has?
Well, I'd love to have them. This is a man who's very advanced. He was early in, and he's done very well with them, the Abraham Accords. No, it's. I think they should happen. The big impediment.
Hey, you guys can talk shit in the chat and all that shit, but don't be doing TOS words. You're just gonna get banned.
To the Abraham Accords, we have our original countries, very smart countries. Every one of them. Do you notice that even during that period of conflict, nobody dropped out? Nobody said, "Oh, gee, I'm going to drop out." Nobody. I think they're all going to come in into the Abraham Accords. The only conflict was a place called Iran. And I understand that, it's a little bit tough.
Me too.
When people were
I did it immediately when I saw it too. I did it too.
Afraid of Iran.
I'm glad that you saw that.
But I think they're going to all start coming in there. Good question, actually.
Mr. President, what do you say to Republicans like Senator Lindsey Graham, who is skeptical of the MOU?
Lindsey is skeptical.
Finally, someone's talking about the MOU. I want to hear that MOU.
Of the MOU.
Lindsey is skeptical?
Yes.
I'll have to talk to Lindsey. He'll be in big trouble. Lindsey's good. Lindsey's fine. He's not skeptical. He's just fine. Look, this agreement covers something very nicely. We're not paying.
What's up, Kev Dog? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Good morning.
For anything. We're not doing anything. The markets now are higher than they were when we started. Remember that. The stock market now is.
By the way, we just hit overtime. We usually condense everything down into an hour, and sometimes we run into overtime. So you know what they say about overtime? No tax on overtime, no tax on tips. Come on, man. Send in your money. Let's go. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, by the way, Steve Easy says it right. We encourage free speech, but we got to keep it within TOS and keep it respectful. That's true. Absolutely. You guys can talk shit all you want. Just don't be throwing words down that are going to jeopardize my channel. We're not doing that.
2,500, maybe even more than that, points higher than it was when we said it's pretty amazing. This agreement is about one thing, that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Never, ever, ever. The rest of it's irrelevant, frankly.
Senator Graham also said that an eventual agreement with Iran should be sent to Congress for review. Would you do that?
I never thought of it, but I would. I wouldn't mind. I mean, the Democrats, we call them Democrats because they're dumb people. The Democrats are, well, what I'd like to do is send it to Congress saying you shouldn't approve it, and I'll get it approved. Whatever I say, they want to do the opposite. It's not working too well for them, by the way. But yeah, I never thought about sending it, never even thought about it, but I will. I will send it to Congress. I like the idea. I mean, who wouldn't approve it? Let's let them have a nuclear weapon. The Democrats will say, oh, they should have a nuclear weapon. They'll go crazy. I like the idea. Send it to Congress, please. All right.
By the way, you guys don't have to like all this craziness, but you guys can like the video for me and what we're doing here. So double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side. Hit that like button if you're on the horizontal. I very much appreciate you guys.
Were you briefed on the attack plans for the UFC event at the White House? There was the FBI thwarted an attack.
I haven't heard about it, no. But I watched the attack.
Yeah, so we have on that thwarted attack, we have the update for you guys that came out just 1 hour ago. Now what we're seeing at the summit, this is about 3 hours ago. So I do have the update for you guys on that question, and we're going to play that next. But so
Never seen, right? The best fight. The best. That last fight was brutal. Wow. And the all of the fights. Two fights. It was all good. It was a great evening. It was very different for the White House, but I wish you could have been there. We built an incredible arena. Dana did a great job.
Is there going to be another fight next year?
Well, I don't know. I got away with it. That goes 250 years. maybe in another 50, maybe in 300.
Are you considering an increase on sanctions on Russia and whether to renew the?
Pablo, to answer this, I am absolutely not gonna get myself involved in any of that. You know, I don't. A lot of people play the market, and I respect that ideology too. You know, but I do not. I look at it as a business owner. I don't look at the stock market as that. Really reflects human emotion, new shit, all that kind of stuff. And so, and also, I mean, obvious. I mean, we're seeing the market go up and down like crazy because of emotion, right? I haven't. All I've ever done since this war is actually buy, and because I never sell, you know. And if I do sell, it's because I disagree with the business, or I read one of their quarterlies and I see that they're going on a downward trajectory projection for money making or whatever. Like I look into those kind of things. But so yeah, I'm not looking to get rich overnight. It's just not my style.
Well, soon we'll be able to do that because the oil is now flowing. So we took sanctions off because obviously we're not looking to impede the oil. So we're in a position to do that soon.
Let them lapse.
Yeah, at some point.
Mr. President, I have a question.
Yes.
Regarding this.
What a nice looking person. Is he from your country? Is he from your country? Absolutely. No, he's got such a nice way about him. My people are so mean. Look at the handsome guy. Be careful. No, I can put him in a movie right now. Go ahead.
Mr. President, how can we make sure that Strait of Hormuz is lasting for open for lasting and navigation in the future?
Have a United States with a strong president. It's the only way you can do it, I guess, when you think we have all the agreements you want. The agreements for bad people don't mean anything. Look, we were the ones that blockaded the sheet. They blockaded it. And we then said, well, we blockaded it for them, so they didn't get any oil. You're going to need to have, and this is true with a lot of things, if you have a strong president of the United States, a lot of good things can happen.
Well, that is true.
Yeah. You know that better than anybody, right?
Absolutely.
You know it better than anybody.
Can you talk a little bit more
We just need to figure out this shit with Iran and get our shit back on track. Come on, man.
about the plan for the enriched uranium that is in the mountains?
Yeah, we do. We'll take it.
Has Iran said they would welcome the U.S. coming in? How specific?
Iran
Yeah,
will
that's
be
terrible.
just fine.
That's terrible, man. Before I moved here during the Biden administration, when I left California, at the worst, I think I was paying $7.40 or $7.20 or something like. It was in the sevens, which was terrible back then too.
What's happening is that at an appropriate time, there's no rush at all. We have cameras from space on it. We know everybody that goes there, which is like nobody. The B-2 bombers hit it. The entire mountain
That's right, Virginia Chaos. I made the announcement already.
collapsed inside it. It's a very tough excavation. Nobody else can do it but us and probably China. They have the equipment. We have the equipment. We're in no rush, but we get it. And when we get it, we'll destroy it.
Is that part of
We're not looking to take it. We're looking to destroy it. We have plenty of it.
Tell it the Versailles dinner tomorrow night. What prompted you to go to that? The dinner tomorrow night in Versailles.
So, well, I'm a fan of beautiful places. And I was leaving in the afternoon. And then the French president, who happens to be a very nice man, invited me to dinner at Versailles. And Versailles is not a gold leaf. Versailles is the real deal. And I said, I'd like to do it. I mean, you know, all it means is that I get home later in the evening, meaning early in the morning, and I'm not a big sleeper anyway. I'll be in the Oval Office I won't lose any time in the Oval Office. So I have to say this, our country is doing really well. We're doing better than we've ever done as a country. The stock market.
That's actually shockingly low for Virginia. I would always assume that they would have higher prices over there too.
It's the highest. Everything's the highest. 401ks are the highest they've ever been by 25%. And we're doing really well. And now you're going to see prices coming down. You know, when I took over, prices were very high. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country. Prices were high, eggs were high, bacon was high, everything was high. And the first question I got asked, What about affordability? I did a news conference one day after I took over, and these people said, what about affordability? I said, I didn't cause it, but I'm bringing it down. And now with the fuel going way down, you saw it yesterday, it went down $6, $7. With fuel going down, as goes fuel, so goes everything. I've always seen that, right? Fuel, you're in a very good business because as goes
oil.
fuel, so goes everything. Fuel is dropping. It's now in the 70s per barrel. And I think we'll get it down. When I say I was in Iowa. And
listen, I've always said it. Missiles create headlines, but tanker routes move economies.
We had great victories in Iowa. And when I left, I noticed in a gas station, $1.85 a gallon. That's where we were. It's a little
Definitely
bit higher
is
generally,
not,
but
right.
I saw two stations, $1.85, one had $1.91.
Where and when? Because it's not now.
And, you know, we're going to get around those levels. So.
Okay, so he's talking about the past there. Good. I'm glad that he clarified
Very
that.
honored. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you,
All right, so that was just a couple of hours ago. Now we were going to be talking about real quick. The FBI arrested 5 people in a plot to attack the White House UFC event. They were supposedly going to use one-way drones and hit them. Now, that's the headlines I heard early this morning when I woke up. Now we actually have the report here that just came out just an hour ago. So let's go ahead and bring this up. They thwarted this action, so let's figure out where this is all coming from.
My name is Josh Breslow, and I do want to get you to some breaking news that we have been following here throughout the week. Now, this information really just coming in. The FBI Director Kash Patel saying that on June 10th, FBI and our law enforcement partners became aware of a potential threat to the UFC America 250 event in Washington, D.C., involving individuals outside of the National Capital Region. And thanks to the...
Yes, let's get the likes up, everybody. I very much appreciate the engagement. Double tap that screen. You guys don't have to like all this crazy shit, but you guys can like it for me and what we're doing here. So
Rapid
thank
action of the FBI, our partners, and the DOJ in a multi-state operation. Several individuals are now in custody, and allegedly planned attacks were stopped cold. While the result represented the best of investigative work, it was also nothing out of the ordinary for this law enforcement team. We are built to detect, respond to, and bring to justice those who threaten the lives of American citizens, particularly during large gatherings like the historic UFC 250 fight. That's exactly what we did here. I want to thank our great agents and partners. This work remains ongoing, and we will continue to update the public as permitted. We continue to encourage any American to report anything suspicious at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Now, you can see the actual post itself from Fox News that he quote tweeted there. That is over on the left-hand side of your...
FBI disrupts alleged explosive drone plot targeting White House UFC event, officials say. So it was a one-way drone.
Screen, it says FBI disrupts alleged explosive drone plot targeting White House UFC event. And again, that is coming from investigators as all of this is coming in. Now, the U.S. Secret Service also putting out a statement saying our most important responsibility is safeguarding the president and every person under Secret.
Oh, yeah. No, people that think that this kind of shit can't happen from our own people, it's crazy.
Service protect
the threats are endless.
The U.S. Secret Service worked closely with the FBI throughout the investigation. In the days leading up to this weekend, our special...
What are you talking about? This is being posted by the U.S. Secret Service. This is being posted... What are you talking about? I just gave you guys the sources. You guys are so fucking dense in the chat sometimes. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, how are you still alive?
Agents, mission support personnel, and technical...
How did you remember to eat this morning? You know what I mean?
Teams worked around the clock to identify those responsible and hold them accountable. Equally important to our protective mission is ensuring accountability through the justice system. To that end, our formal comments regarding the specifics of this case will be made through filings. Now, law enforcement officials saying they disrupted the, quote, planned attacks meant to target the UFC cage fighting show that was at the White House this past weekend. Several people there in custody, according to the FBI. Right now, I do want to bring in a friend of the show here. We have Rich Kolko. He is a retired FBI special agent joining us live to discuss all of this. Rich,
here, I got it. I got it for you.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
Shit.
As always here, we appreciate you joining us to provide your insight and a little bit more information. Thank you for being here.
Charlotte, I can't help it. I can't help it.
First off, I just want to ask you, as all of this has been coming out here and we gather kind of bits and pieces of information, what has stood out to you overall about all of this?
Well, I've been looking around and talking to some folks that I'm able to talk to right now, and I guess what stands out is how real this one may have been. There's always that question of, is it
Right. There's always threats, but for something to be actually carried out is fairly rare, of course, but it still obviously happens often. You know, attempts do happen on violence.
aspirational or operational? And this one hasn't
Dragon
totally been
Classy, good
determined
morning.
yet, but the fact that somebody was traveling from another part of the country to the Washington, D.C. area, that's what's called an overt act, so that at least starts to get into what's called operational. I heard you just read that Secret Service tweet. I think that could have been beefed up a little bit more because I know they were a joint partner in this, working very closely with the FBI. There are a lot of people involved in this with a very dramatic plan. Their capability or ability to actually carry it out to their full extent would have been very limited based on the security efforts of Secret Service and law enforcement in the vicinity of the White House. But I can tell you that over the last few years, drones has become a real
Yeah, of course. Drones have become a real threat in all societies,
problem for law enforcement and security personnel,
including ours.
very unpredictable and difficult to defend. So it's certainly a problem. But they literally had a 3-step plan here, and it was to attack the crowd with a drone with an explosive device.
Wow.
Wouldn't have had to be big if you think about it, but if that had just gone off,
They wanted to attack the crowd. Why wouldn't you attack like a building or a structure or something like that? You wanted to kill people like that, honestly?
would have resulted
Innocent people that are just attendees? Why?
in some sort of panic and people running for the doors, and they planned on some sort of sniper team when people were running outside of the facility, and then they wanted to charge into the White House. So, you know, this 3-step plan that they supposedly carried out, discussed, talked about, and maybe planned, and we'll have to find out if there's any reality to what they could have or were trying to do.
How important is it for this information here to be released to the public? Because again, a lot of different actions there, arrests, things of that nature happen behind closed doors. You may get a little information here and there. But again, FBI Director Kash Patel came out this morning. The Secret Service came out. They said, this is what happened. This is what we know. More information will come from court filings. Why is it important for the public to be aware that this happened?
Well, first of all, we'll find out. But I think the court documents will be unsealed today at 11 o'clock. So in a couple hours, we'll have some more, specific information if that does happen today.
What's up, Alwine? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your Topless Taco Tuesday so far. Great to see you in the chat.
And on top of that, it sounds like law enforcement was tipped off by one of the parents of one of the people involved in this. Don't have any names yet of who was arrested. 5 people supposedly have already been arrested, looking for others. I think the reason it's important for people to know is if this had actually happened, it would have been disastrous for the United States, regardless of what your political leanings are. This political violence is a no-go for any party, any issue, any time. So it doesn't work, and it can just destroy the country. So as far as people knowing what happened or what could have happened, the fact that somebody was willing to pick up the phone and call law enforcement and provide that critical tip, that's what's important that the public knows, in addition to whatever the plans or operations were, because there's always somebody who has some information, and that can help save lives and goes a long way. Very, very important.
And of course, we went over those statements, but if you are just joining us, I want to go over some of the basics of what we know and the questions that still exist here. So the FBI and law enforcement partners say they disrupted an alleged plot targeting this weekend's UFC Freedom 250 event. That was
And by the way, that's not the very first time that there's been fights held at the White House.
Of course, on President Trump's 80th birthday, and it was right there on the grounds of the White House. We have learned that 5 people are in custody at least, and investigators identified 23 people as part of a potential network.
I think it was the first time for UFC, but
of people involved in this. The alleged plan involved using explosive-laden drones to hit buildings that are near the event, force a mass evacuation, and steer crowds toward a pre-staged sniper team. Again, all of this coming in from investigators that spoke with Fox News Digital and the Associated Press. Now, we're also told that a, quote, second wave was then allegedly planned to storm the White House gates. So you were going over some of the details there. And the FBI said they first learned of that threat June 10th and worked with partners to secure probable cause for an arrest in Cincinnati, where at least one of those suspects was taken into custody. So again, a lot of this here essentially coming in this morning in those bits and pieces. What questions overall would you say that you still have?
Right away, I want to know if they actually had the equipment. Did they have the drones? Did they have the explosives? Do they
Right.
have the rifles or handguns that they plan to carry out their?
That's what I want to know as well. I mean, we're going to find out in later reports because this just coming out an hour ago. More reports of this is going to come out, and we're going to follow up on this tomorrow morning. I guarantee it. We'll have definite more information by then.
Cyber attacks or attack on the White House. What kind of information would they have downloaded on the computer? What kind of, just, how real were their plans? They were talking on Signal, it appears. So preservation warrants will go out to save that data if they can.
Very true,
Signal,
Bob.
as you know, is encrypted, so we'll have to see if they get that information. But did they download, maps, charts, what other calls were made? Were people actually meeting? As far as an investigator is concerned, the pot of information you want to find is enormous. And you can be sure that there are a good amount of agents, analysts, and professional support from multiple agencies digging into that while you and I are speaking right now.
And you talked about a family member being involved. How pivotal, how important is the public here when you look at this as a whole and you work to thwart a plan that could lead to multiple casualties at a huge event like this over at the White House?
It's really the only way law enforcement works these days is partnerships and assistance from the public. I mean, you think about it, the FBI is, 13,000 FBI agents total.
Yeah, that's a lot. But total for the entire, nation is not actually a lot by per capita, right? But anyways, anything else that he's going to be talking about here is not going to be straight factual of what is happening. It's going to be more speculation from here on out. I mean, it's pretty much been a lot of that. And you guys know how I am. I wait until the actual factuals come out. That's what we do. So listen, make sure you guys stick around. We're going to be rating our buddy Chaotic Truth here at the very end. I very much appreciate you guys and your engagement. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out. Double tap that screen. Hit that subscribe button. That's what we do Monday through Friday. And then, of course, we have members only on Saturday morning, man. We condense everything down into an hour and a half show. And today we did have a little bit of OT. So listen, today here in Alabama is our day that we have to do the runoff election. So right after I get off of this, I'm going to get ready to go to the polls, go vote, and do my due diligence, right? All right, so we always appreciate you guys. God bless you guys. Make sure you guys stick around for that raid, by the way. Let them know we're coming through with the Mike Ball / Insane Wheels raid or whatever. Until then, until tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness, God bless you guys. Much love. See you guys.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul, with a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on 2 wheels, ready to claim his throne, amidst the chaos and the